Okay, so here is our Excel kind of like crash course here. And there's a lot of things going on with Excel. It is a spreadsheet. It will totally do statistical analysis and stuff like that, but you got to be really careful about how you do that. R, SPSS, and SALT, that's the one we're going to be using a lot in class, is SALT. That's a lot more intuitive in terms of like the front end, what you see the user interface part, because they know, hey, people that are going to be using this are going to be statisticians. So we're going to make it look like that. Although Excel and SALT look very similar, they behave very differently. So, for example, here within Excel, it doesn't give you like descriptive statistics very quickly. You have to tell it that's what you want. So, like for example, here, if we wanted to find the average height of the people in this study, okay? So let me kind of scroll out here. I guess that's good enough. So what we have to do is in each cell. So this is a cell, all right? Where you know what? I'll zoom in. There we go. So this is a cell right here. So this has a designation or kind of like an address. It's H because that's the column it's in, and then 2 because that's the row it's in. So this is H2. And if you wanted to tell Excel, hey, give me the mean for we'll go shoe size. I think that'll make more sense. So anytime you want to do math in Excel, you have to put an equal sign first. So I'm going to put an equal sign first, and then I start typing out the word that I want. But here's the thing. You got to know what function you want. So like if you started typing out the word mean, notice nothing really comes up. I mean, you have geomean, which is geometric mean. You have the harmonic mean. Then you have the mean of the interior portion of a data set. I mean, it's not what you want. So in Excel, you have to type in the word average. Now, hopefully you can see this. I don't know how well it's going to appear, but as you start to type in the word average, the little drop box comes down, and there's all these like little f of x things. In fact, right here, you can kind of see where it says f of x. And it's exactly what you think. Yes, this is a function. And remember from algebra class, anytime you have a function, that means for every x value, you can give me exactly one y value. That's exactly what Excel does here. It just says, hey, if you give me a bunch of x values, I'm going to give you exactly one y value back out. So as we start typing in the word average, AV, you have average DEV, which stands for the average of the absolute deviations. All right. The second one is the word average, and if you just read this little pop-up box that comes up, it says returns the average arithmetic mean of its arguments. The arguments are going to be the actual data values. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the word average, and then it says parenthesis, and then underneath here it says, hey, give me number 1, comma, number 2, comma, number 3, and so forth. However, since we have a bunch of data values, what we're going to do is we're going to left click and hold on the number 11, and then we just drag this all the way down until we highlight all of our data values. Now, as you can see here, everything is highlighted in blue, and then on the right hand side, E2 E2 colon E41. What that's telling Excel is to take all the data values starting with E2 and ending with E41 and find the average. The only thing you have to do is just end the parenthesis and hit enter. So our average shoe size here is 9.8. So it's probably in your best interest to kind of label this stuff. So that's one way you can do this. The other way, if you just highlight all the data values, and it's going to be really, really hard to see. In your screen, I don't even know if you can actually see it or not. Let me get rid of that real fast. Let me highlight again. But if you look down here in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, all right, you're going to see the word average, you're going to see the word count, and you're going to see the word sum. Those are like the 3 most popular functions that Excel does. So they kind of just automatically put them in the corner for you. So you could type it in, or you can go ahead down here in the right-hand corner, and you can just look at it. Now, let's say we wanted to find the standard deviation of the shoe sizes as well. So standard deviation. Give me a second here. I'm gonna do this because this will make more sense. We'll just do STDEV. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the function to find the standard deviation of a sample is ST. And then if you look on the right-hand side, once again, we got all these functions, okay? But notice you have standardize, you have STDEV.P, and then you have STDEV.S. You want the .S because we have a sample. The .P stands for population, which is what we do not have. So we want to find the standard deviation for the sample that we have. So we're going to double click on that. And then it's going to say, okay, tell me all the numbers you want. We're going to go shoe size again. So let's highlight all this. All right. And the parenthesis, hit enter, and there is our standard deviation. So we have our average shoe size. I misspelled that. Show size. There we go. And now we also have the deviation as well. And I'm just going to kind of move these things over a little bit. Well, let me do that easily. Probably not. No, I'm fine with that. Now, there are some other things that we want to do with our statistics. All right. So let's say, for example, we wanted to find the standard deviation using a table. So we already know what the answer is just by doing the function within WebAssign. But let's say you were trying to figure out like X minus the mean for every single data value. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this. Let's move this over here. Let's get rid of this. All right. And I'm going to title this X minus the mean. Okay. And I'm going to do a couple calculations individually first, just so you can see how this works. And then you can understand like why it worked and then why it didn't work. So let me get out our calculator here. So let's say, for example, we wanted to take this value here, 11. So, and I'm going to highlight that for us. So let's say we wanted to take 11 and we want to subtract 9.8 from that. Okay. So using our calculator, 11 minus 9.8 is going to give me 1.2. So if I wanted to, I can type that in right here, 1.2. And then I can go ahead and do the next one. So we can do 9 minus 9.8 again. So 9 minus 9.8. And that's going to give you negative 0.8. So we're going to type that in as well. Negative 0.8. Okay? So there are two calculations, and you and I are solid. Yes, those are absolutely correct. However, you don't want to have to do this for every single data value going all the way down the list. I mean, we have 41 data values here, or we have 40 data values, okay? So the big question is there an easier way? And the answer is absolutely. But I want you to see what happens. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste these all the way over here. Because I want to keep them here. I'll even highlight them for us here. Because something's going to happen here. So once again, if you want to do math, you always hit enter, or I'm sorry, equals. And then from here, what I can do is I can say, okay, Excel, what I want you to do is I want you to take the value in this cell and then subtract it from the data value in this cell. Now we know 11 minus 9.8 is the 1.2 on the far right side of our screen. So when I hit enter, I get 1.3 because they're rounding it. All right. Now, if you're asking yourself, well, why are they rounding it? Here's why. Okay. If we look at the average shoe size right here, and I made a couple more decimal places, see how it's 9.75? Well, since Excel rounded this to 9.8, then it's going to do that for almost everything. All right. But if we look here for the mean, if I kind of drag out those decimal values, it rounded the 1.25 up to, what's it called? 1.3. So that's what's happening there. All right. So not a big deal. All right. The thing I really want us to look at though is this. We know the next value has to be like negative 0.8. All right, so here's how we have Excel do something very quickly. All right, math calculation wise. Okay. Right now you can see this plus sign, which is my cursor. And if I zoom in here, see how far I can zoom in. If we look at the cell, in the lower right-hand corner of the cell, you're going to have a little green dot. It's really hard to see. But if you just take your cursor and you move it to the bottom of that cell, bottom right, it's going to turn into a solid black plus sign. And that's the one we want, because what that tells Excel is, okay, if you left click and you drag down, just like I'm doing here, it's going to take every single calculation that you want and it's going to perform it. So what we told Excel initially was, hey, take this cell right here, take this one right here, and subtract this one away. So 11 minus 9.75. And like I said, they rounded this, so it's really 1.25. They rounded it. So if I go ahead and I take this and drag it down, it's going to take 9. And what we think initially is it should take 9 minus 9.75 to give us this value here. And it's not going to do that. And I have to show you why. So let's go ahead and we'll do this for a couple of them here. And you get these numbers here, all right? So we have to understand, like, well, why is this happening? Like, why does this one say 11 minus 9.75 is 1.25? And that's what it should be. But if you look here, 9, 9, 11, 11. You know what? Let's even get rid of this column so you can even see it easier. So 9, 9, 11, 11, 10, 10, 10, 10, 13, 13, 11, 11. Like, why is it not subtracting? All right. And the reason all falls into what's happening up here. So if you look in the upper left-hand column of your screen, all right, where the function, this is this big little search, it looks like a search bar. It's called the function bar. Okay. If you look, as soon as I click here and up here, it says, hey, I'm going to take, this is Excel, by the way. Excel says, I'm going to take E2 and subtract G2. And if you look here, let me get rid of our highlights here. So no fill and no fill here. So it's easier for us to see. So notice here, it's taking the shoe size minus the average. And that's what we wanted. We're like, oh, that's great. Fantastic. But now, if I go ahead and I click here, notice it just says 9. It doesn't say anything here. Here it says E3 minus G3. But there's no number here for G3. So there are two ways around this. You could copy and paste the average shoe size for every single one of these cells going down beneath, because that's what you need. That's what Excel's doing, exactly what you told it to do. It's taking E3 minus G3. And then down here, it's going to take E4 minus G4. And then it's going to take here E5 minus G5. And you can see exactly what it's doing because it highlights it for you. To prevent that from happening, we're going to come all the way back up to here. There is something wrong with our formula. And that something wrong is right here. To tell Excel, hey, I want you to use this cell and only this cell, what we're going to do is we're going to put a $sign in front of the letter G, and then we're going to put a $sign in front of the number 2. Those two $signs says, lock this number in. Never let it change. So now, even when I go back to here, it still says E2 minus G2, but now it's locked in because of the $signs. And when I go ahead and I drag this down, watch what happens to all those numbers. They all update, and that's exactly what I needed it to be. All right, it's exactly what I needed it to be. That is how you got to tell Excel, hey, stick with this value only. What's nice about Salt, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. All right, because it's used for what, I mean, you use it for what it's meant for, which is statistical analysis. But there are some cool things that you can do very quickly in Excel that Salt doesn't do. For example, now that we went over the mean and everything, let's say we wanted to look at the our shoe size here, and we wanted to put them in order. All right. Well, you could do this very quickly in Excel by using the sort and filter tool. So all I did here is I just clicked on the letter E, and that highlighted the entire column. And then in the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to click on sort and filter, and I'm going to go smallest to largest. And it's going to say, do you want us to do this? And I'm going to say yes. And there you go. So it went ahead and did this for everything. And it also went ahead and sorted everything. All right. So you got to be careful when you do this, but all you got to do is read. That's it. All right. So now here we have all of our shoe sizes sorted, which if you remember doing something like a relative frequency table, boy, wouldn't this have been nice? Let's say you wanted all the shoe sizes in the first class to be 7 to less than 9. How many were there? Well, you would just go here, highlight them, and then in the lower right-hand corner, it says count 11. Oops, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm right. Count 11. I couldn't see it there for a second. My bad. But that's how this works. So this is Excel. Can you do other cool things in Excel? Absolutely. But you have to, there's a lot more involved. So I know a lot of us up here see the word data. All right. So we can click on the word data here. And you're going to have to install what is called data analysis tool. So that's going to be right here. All right. So I already have it installed. I would not recommend using Excel for data analysis unless you're really good with Excel. All right. But for example, if we wanted to here, we can get some descriptive statistics. So you would click on the data analysis, descriptive statistics, hit enter. It's going to say, okay, what is your input range? All right. So our input range is going to be, let me click here. Oh, let's see here. How do I do this again? Oh, it doesn't even let you select. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let's do the shoe size. So we just highlight it. They updated this. Something's different now. Actually, let's do it like this. Let's highlight all of them, including the word. So I highlighted from the word shoe size all the way down. Then I'm going to click on this little thing that says, are the labels in the first row? Yes. The word shoe size is in the first row. The labels in the first row. Then down here, I can tell the output options. Okay. Do I want it in a new worksheet, a new workbook, summary statistics? Let's click on that. I don't even know what that is. We're going to find out what it is. And then we click on OK. And here we go. Here are our descriptive statistics here for shoe size. So the mean is 9.75. The standard error, we're going to learn what that is 0.25. The median is 9.75. The mode is 9. There's our standard deviation. Sample variance. It gives everything that you need. Once again, here's our 5-number, or is it? No, this is just the 3-number summary. Just the range, the min, and the max. Notice it doesn't give you Q1 or Q2. So I'll do that again real quick. All right. So we'll go back to our data. And this time let's do, we'll do age. Okay. So data analysis. In fact, let me show you how to do the data analysis thing. You got to click on the word file first. Then you have to come down to here and you click on get add-ins. Oh, no. Wow, they really changed this. All the way down here, options. So now this thing pops up. On the left-hand side, you want advanced. No, you want add-ins. We'll go add-ins. And then here, you start picking all the add-ins that you want. So these are all the things that come with Excel, but they were never added into Excel. So as you can see here, I have analysis tool pack and then analysis VBA. All right. So you can go ahead and click on what you want. I'm going to click on just analysis tool pack and just click on OK. And when you do that, this little thing up here will pop up. Then you click on data analysis, descriptive statistics. OK. We're going to go ahead and we'll do, like I said, we'll do age this time. So I'm going to highlight the word age, click all the way down. Go ahead back. I click on this little icon right here to go back. Labels in the first row. Yes. This is the data is grouped by columns. Yes. Summary statistics. Click OK. And here's everything for age. All right. And like I said, that's how this works. I think personally, Salt, so much easier. It's so much easier. You just got to learn how to use it. You got to know where to click and you have to understand what the numbers mean. And with that being said, that's going to be it for this video. As we progress through the semester, if I need to use Excel, I will, and I will refer to this video. That way you can go back and look at it when you're at home, but I will be doing this stuff in class as well. So, see you in the next one.